Well, hello and welcome, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are here live in Orlando, Florida at Scaling New Heights 2025, and it has been incredible.
It has been an absolute blast, and we've had so much fun getting to be back with our people, seeing them again, hugging them, of course, is like one of my favorite things to do. The sessions have been outstanding. The speakers are phenomenal. Everybody is bringing their A game. So lots of good stuff to enjoy.
It has been incredible. And I mean, obviously the theme is make it so. So what we did at Scaling New Heights, what our theme was, or what Joe really, the vision that we had was, what are things that we can do in our lives, in our practice to actually move the needle on the things that we've wanted to do? Liz, you talk a lot about intentionality. In fact, you had it tattooed
It's right
on
here.
your arm. Being intentional about what we want in our lives, what we want in our practice. We have to have a roadmap to make those things happen.
Yeah.
And that's what this entire conference has been about. And it's been really amazing. We started with Joe, of course, who
Yes.
talked about the ideal client and how to find those ideal clients that you want to be working with and setting, what it is that you want to do as your superpower. And then we had Shantae Lowe,
Oh,
right? We had Shantae Lowe, who is a medalist. She's a high jump person, but she also fought through cancer while having three children and competing in the Olympics. And so she was so inspiring.
she was. And it's been such a nice mix of what Joe called our people, so our community, and then also mixed in there with, some well-known speakers. Like David Allen is later on, so that's going to be
That's right.
a
Day
big
four.
name. But we also had Brittany Brown, who was on the stage, and I have to say I teared up. And Janelle was on the stage yesterday, and again I teared up. And so I mean, like, thinking about it right now, it's like I know those people, and to hear their stories and to hear their journeys, it just makes me feel that much more connected to them and our community. And I'm grateful to be a part of it.
And that's really the big feeling that I've been getting, and what I've been hearing from the attendees is that this conference is unlike any conference in our industry because of the community that we have and that sense of belonging. And that's
Yes.
been a central theme throughout the conference as well. As Jana talked about belonging during her keynote yesterday morning. And Joe talked about belonging on Sunday, and that is what you feel.
Well, and I loved the analogy that Janah had made. One of the things that she said is, what does it feel like to be the only one in the room? Like maybe who's the new person. So you're the only one in the one who doesn't know everybody else's names, and trying to figure out like, what are they going to think about me? Are they going to like me? And so, I think that it's a brave, emotional scenario to tap into because I'm 48 and I still have those thoughts that go through my head that's like, what if they don't like me?
We do. We have that imposter syndrome, right?
Yep.
Of, am I really good enough to be doing what I'm doing? I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and we were talking about, you know, pushing through. And actually, no, it was Brittany Brown that was talking about it today, about pushing through and like those really hard things where you're faced with a situation and your brain is telling you that's going to be really hard, and I'm not sure that I'm capable of actually accomplishing that I'm doing it. But those are the moments where, if you were to accept the challenge, that
Mhm.
actually push you forward, not only as a professional but as a human being.
Well, and one of the things that Brittany Brown had said was, it was actually a quote that she had pulled from Joe years ago, and Joe gave even credit to someone else. So it's like this phrase that had passed on, and it was, it's okay to be afraid. So proceed afraid.
Proceed afraid.
And
Yeah.
the whole idea with proceed afraid is you're not going to always feel most comfortable in the room. You're not going to always feel like I've got confidence to do this brave thing that I want to do. And in our profession, maybe it's repricing your clients. You're not going to always feel like everybody's going to like you as you're telling them prices are going to go up. Not everybody's going to like you whenever you start to say, this is the way that we're going to do things in our firm. You're not going to always feel that confidence that most of us are often craving and seeking. But it is okay to go into something unknown
Mhm.
because it puts you in a new realm, and part of what's breaking you through is to go ahead and be afraid and
That's
to
right.
feel what that's like to have that sense of fear.
Yeah, it reminds me from the time. Do you remember the time I jumped off the stratosphere?
Yes.
Yeah, so my biggest fear was heights, and jumping off that stratosphere. I was talking to somebody else about that here because that's what we've been, the theme, and what that was like. This person's was terrified of heights. So I don't know how you could have done it. And I said the second I stepped off, the hard part was getting to the ledge
Yeah.
and actually making my foot go off of the ledge.
Mm.
And then I was talking about the euphoria because it was pure, unadulterated euphoria
Yeah.
of free falling and knowing that I had just done it. And I think that that's something that I think when we do take those challenges and we do, say, I accept, and we get through it, it's liberating and
It
it
is
really does push
liberating.
you through. So we're happy hour. We're
Yes, we are.
tech. That's
Yes.
what we do. That's what we're known for. So we've been talking a lot about, the soft skills stuff and the human stuff.
The
But
human
we've been
stuff
hearing a
matters.
lot about technology
Oh
during
my
this show.
gosh, heavy technology. So I would say the sessions are very focused on where are we going? How do we embrace AI? I think that that's one of the big focuses in the sessions that I'm choosing, is where I want to be is in this world of understanding AI and using AI and teaching AI. So heavily leaned in, and there are so many great AI sessions here.
So many. We have a lot of AI sessions. And what I love about it, we had a getting started with artificial intelligence with Randy Johnston.
Yes.
And then, so for the beginners that actually hadn't started dipping their toe, we had real life demos
Mhm.
of AI. You're leading 2 sessions on AI. You
Yep.
did one this
I
morning,
did.
and you have a panel tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Both
And,
of those are juicy, but yeah.
and you're going to be talking to practice leaders that have been actually doing it, like actually walking the walk, actually using AI in their practices. Um, and that's going to be fascinating. I mean, that's
Yeah.
one that people will not want to miss.
Well, it is what my goal was to say we understand that AI inside of, Chat GPT is super awesome and has been very, very helpful. But what else can we do in our profession? And I looked at our own firm and I thought about our pain points are the transaction coding. So entering in the transactions. So I said, okay, that's a bucket. The next piece of the bucket was, all right, well, I want to do quality control. So the month end close, that's another bucket. And then the third bucket is advisory services. So I wanted to have those 3 areas as where I'm using tech, how I'm implementing it. And then I've got a panel that's coming up. And then I had a fourth because of the panel. I loved that Emily Cheshire was talking about operations. And
Mhm.
so she's going to be sharing how she's using AI in the operations at Aprio. So Aprio is huge. I think they've got
Yeah.
2,500 plus employees. So seeing what they're doing on that scale is very eye-opening for what is coming to us.
100%. And I think that there's, that's the buzz. I think people understand that it's here to stay. It's going to transform our industry. We need to start dipping in. And I love the fact that there was actually actionable sessions where, Nio Carter Gray, she taught a session yesterday that walked you through different prompts that you
Mhm.
could use just using ChatGPT to really help you shorten the workload of the admin tasks that you're doing in your practice. And so, the feedback we were getting from the attendees of that session was, I can use this today.
Right.
I can take this, and she gave a handout. Randy Johnson also gave a handout of a bunch of prompts, a
Uh,
spreadsheet of prompts for his attendees that they can just cut and paste right into ChatGPT to make short work of the work they're doing. So it's an exciting time. I think the overall theme of the AI that we've been hearing is we're not being replaced. We're
Yeah.
not. The AI is not coming for our jobs, but we have to embrace it because that is the next
Okay. I have to stop in my session, I did say it is coming for your jobs.
Okay, but I think that you can
The
find a
humanity
place for
part,
it.
the
Yeah.
humanity part it's not coming
Yeah.
for, but the
Yeah.
task taking, take it.
Oh, for sure.
Take
For
it.
sure. All right,
So
we have a guest.
we do. We have a special guest
We
that's
sure
joining
do.
us. So some of you may remember Chris has been joining us for several different things that we've been doing. So Chris from MyTask LMS, welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, so Chris, you've got a fun booth that's on the floor.
Yeah, we brought basketball to the event this year.
Sure did.
It's been quite a hit.
Awesome.
I think so. I had a good time with basketball. I was like, is anybody playing? And then I was like, wait, I want to play. And when I first started, I was like, I'm not a basketball shooter, but then I started scoring and then it was on. So I was making magic is what I think. I got nine baskets, y'all.
Wow, that's
know.
good.
I know.
Wow, who knew?
Right? I know.
Awesome. Yeah, that exhibit hall is something.
Oh
It
yeah,
really
it's
is.
massive.
Yeah, it's massive and the booths are really like very high tech this year. I walked by one that was supposed to look like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. So that
I
was
saw
super
that one.
fun. So
And they're all
Oh.
wearing tricky uniforms.
right.
Super
And,
cool.
and then we had our Tutu Tuesday, which was today. So lots of tutus. So that was fun
Great.
too. So Chris, you have been building some new things in MyTask LMS, but for those that are joining us that have not yet really understood what MyTask LMS does, can you just tell them a little bit about what the solution is and how it's unique in our industry?
Yep. So we originally built it for our own CPA firm. What we were struggling with was we were growing and we couldn't have our best staff sit down with the trainees for 3 to 4 days, then be behind on work and having to push the person aside and not knowing for months down the road if it's going to work or not. So we built a platform that's a training platform for staff accountants as well as the tax preparer side. Staff accountants, they go 2 to 3 weeks through the course. And it's a fully built out course that they're going to actually do a full year of data in the process. And I know we kind of talked about it, I think, in one of our last sessions through Xero. But I mean, this is across multiple platforms. And it's really built to verify that the people that you're hiring and even current staff, that you can get them up to speed and efficient, both in accounting and tax side.
That's huge, especially as we're thinking about scale. Like there's a whole lot of conversation that's happening here about how do I scale? How do I lean into that? And part of it is training.
Yep.
So understanding how to get your team up to speed inside of a solution is big. And I've got a couple of questions I want to ask you.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when I think about why was MyTask built, sometimes we've kind of been able to lean into that, but is there something more that you want to kind of expand on?
Yeah, so I mean, we were growing. We had acquired a couple different firms, and so like I was saying, it kind of put it to where we couldn't sustain having our tax managers sitting down and basically losing their work progress in the process of trying to train the staff coming on to our standards. So rather than having them do that, it's no longer 3 to 4 days. They're doing about a 15-minute nightly review to see how they're doing through the system and following up with them at the end of the night.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so what is the process within MyTask LMS? So, processes, I think about like, so if somebody wants to start the training platform, like what is it that they would want, what would they do? Where
Yep.
would they begin?
So it kind of depends on whether it's like a staff accountant side or a tax preparer side, but from the staff accountant side, the very beginning of the course is actually almost like a crash course accounting 101 college style course where they're going to be talking about like debits, credits, financial statements, 1099s, and a basic payroll understanding. Within that, it's a lot of video instruction, PowerPoints, but also tests to follow up that for verification that they're learning that through that process. We even have staff that have 10 years of experience go through that side just to verify that they've got that. They might fly through it and that's fine. But then they actually get to the work where they're going to be doing 12 months of financial data that we had built a sample client that they're going to do in either QuickBooks Online, Desktop, Xero, or Accounting CS. And within that, they're going to be dealing with a bunch of real world examples of PUCC, 2% health, amortization schedules. We really tried building it out to where in that 2 to 3 week time frame, they're going to be seeing a life cycle of a client, and you know that they can be able to get through those monthly processes.
I think that's a game changer, you know, because with most training, it's watch a video, right? Take a quiz, right? And what really sets MyTask LMS apart is that it's repeatable because you're doing a whole year of data. You know, you're going to come up against different issues throughout the year. And it actually also has the work papers that you see in most accounting firms to tie out to the data, which is real. It's real world,
Yeah.
right? So I love that.
I agree. So if people were curious about what solutions are available to train on inside of MyTask,
Yep.
you can give
So
them a preview.
like I was saying, there's Accounting CS, Xero, QuickBooks Online, and QuickBooks Desktop from the accounting side. From the tax side, there's 6 different softwares currently. There's CCH Access, Drake, Lacert, ProConnect, Pro Series, and UltraTax. Within them, they're the same sort of structure. It's just showing how to process in those systems. And the thing too is that, you know, we started with one tax software, one accounting software, and we've been growing year after year. So there's more softwares that we're adding in, and there's also updates to those softwares that we're constantly adding in.
Nice, nice. You know, I'm curious too, kind of taking it away from some of the MyTask for the moment, and to focus on what are you hearing while people are stopping by your booth right now? What kinds of questions are they asking you?
A lot of it is related, obviously, to training side. It's definitely needing that training to get their staff up to speed. Because, you know, they might have some of their own training out there, but they don't have a full build, or they're really just looking for something out there. And that's kind of where we're separate right now. There's not too many others out there that do what we do. There's some out there that do it for the accounting side, but they don't do it for the tax side. And they don't really go into the actual accounting software through the monthly process.
So what size firms are best suited for MyTask LMS?
The size, you know, it fits a pretty good mold, because there's about, I would say, like 10 employees is a pretty good fit. And going past that, you're well into that, because the pricing model is about $675 a month for up to 10 active users. So if you can get 1 to 2 new employees coming in during the year, the cost to train those employees, you're going to be getting that value.
I can attest to that, because, you know, training is one of those things that I love, Heather, you love, but it takes a whole lot out of us to do it well. And it's a devotion of time.
Well, it is, and as you said, it takes the managers out of production.
Yep.
So if they're needing to spend that time training their staff, then they can't be producing deliverable work to the clients. So that really does free them up. And by the time they actually do need that face time, the team members are already, they've got a really good running start.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. So what big takeaways are you seeing as far as, you know, Liz had asked you about what you're hearing and what they're looking for when they come to see you. Have you heard anything about the industry at large? What are people excited about? What are they thinking about?
A big thing to it is the AI, obviously. We've had a lot of people asking about workflow, like practice management system training. So we're looking into how we can be able to get that involved, but definitely the AI aspect with what's going on of, what can we be able to do on our side to do it? I know some of the back end that we're looking at is how can we upskill each level of employee to be able to get them to that next level.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I hear that same phrase. You said scale to the next level or get to that next phase. It's like, yeah, I think that that's what we're hearing, consistently across the board, whether it's AI, whether it's, growing the firm, whether it's adopting tech. It's like, how do I get there? And so there's a whole lot of great conversations about how is it that you move towards that area. We have a question from the audience. Question from the audience.
But rather, what's the legacy of the assets that are in? So do we need to maintain the subscription to maintain the training or something that is purchasable?
So
Can we repeat the question just
Yeah.
so our viewers, okay.
yeah, so the question was about the subscription and basically, stopping the subscription if you would be able to like maintain. Yeah. So how that subscription works, the first year you're required to sign up. Once you get past that year, you can be able to stop at any point. If you do stop, it would turn off the system on that side, but you can always be able to turn that back on. And in terms of the data, I mean, that side of things, we're constantly updating in the system. So like the QuickBooks Online side, they're updating almost every year. So we're looking at that and updating the videos in there to the new formats. Trying to get it to where that's good in the system for the trainees to go through and they know exactly where to find all the different items.
Most real possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're right, things are changing, tech is changing so rapidly that I would imagine that's a full-time job. Yeah, I mean, I know that whenever we're looking for, I was asked a question today about QuickBooks, and it's been a while since I had been navigating in the manner that they wanted to explore. And it changes so fast that I was like, I don't actually know the answer to that. So
Yeah.
a lot of development is happening.
Well, I know right now there's 3 different layouts of QuickBooks Online going on right now. So, I mean, it makes it a little bit hard for people, especially the first time that someone's going through, if there's 3 different views.
Yeah,
Yeah, that can definitely be discouraging as you're getting started.
that's awesome. So you guys, how often do you update?
Updating really depends on the software because there's some softwares out there like Desktop or Accounting CS where there's not too many updates coming into the system. Those really are on a case-by-case basis of if there's an important update in there. From the QuickBooks side, like I said, it's about a year.
Okay.
Or if there's a major update, like the update that they're pushing through, once that finalizes, we would update the system. The tax side, that we shoot for about every 2 years, unless there is a issue in the tax system that requires us to make that change.
That makes sense. Well, anything else that you've picked up from being on the floor? Is there anything that you're like, hey, I want to take away that little bit of nugget from just, there's so much interaction. What stuck with you?
I've definitely had some interesting sessions because I mean, I've hopped on the breakfast sessions and go into those. Seeing some of the different softwares out there, we're definitely talking to them and seeing, what can we do to be able to kind of talk with them and be able to build more content from that side. Because there's a lot of them out there that even from our own CPA firm side, we're looking at and going, we may need to look at that software and move forward.
And I love that because, this is a solution. There goes my phone. This is a solution, that's built for accounting professionals by accounting professionals, which in my opinion, most of the really great solutions out there, that's what happens is they're living the problem and they create a really stellar solution. So wonderful. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us, Chris. And How can people find you?
So people can find us by going to mytasklms.com. There's an ability to book a demo on our website, and you will more than likely be talking with me. The demos are about an hour, and we go real in depth on the accounting and tax side, so you'll know exactly what's going on.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
for those of you that are joining us today, if you go out to thehappyhour.com or go to our YouTube page, we have several episodes highlighting My Task LMS if you want to see a demo, or just reach out to Chris and his team and they'll be happy to show you the solution. So
Perfect.
thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks for letting me play basketball today.
Yeah.
Sure. That was really fun.
Well, that was awesome. I think, that's one of the biggest pain points in a firm is training the team. And especially for a lot of firms, by the time they need to hire, they're already over capacity and they don't have the capacity to take to sacrifice one of their, senior, team members to train a new person. So this really is, that subscription fee
Mhm.
is worth it.
I agree. I mean, it feels like probably when you first think about a number, it's like, what would I assign to that? But then I think about how many times I've trained myself, and that
do I just
really
do
does
everything?
eat to a lot of time. So we have another
Alex.
guest that's going to be joining us. So thank you. Come and sit with us.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Nice to meet you
Nice to meet you guys as well.
and welcome to the happy hour.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Happy you're hanging out with us. So we're just recapping, like, what's happening out there on the show floor as people are coming by Zero. What are they asking you?
Great question. There's so much interest in Zero. We've been here for, I think this is our 4th year now. So people are definitely familiar with Zero. And people come to us with the same, I guess, questions and the same struggles. They have their current system. Some people are unhappy with their current workflows or are looking for something different. So they come to us looking for answers on what else can I do with my client base? How else can I improve my practice? We're right in the middle, so we have a great area. Everyone has to come by Zero.
Big booth.
Big old
Big
booth.
booth.
Biggest booth I've ever seen, honestly. But yeah, it's been great. We've been getting, great questions. I did intro to Zero this morning. It was tons of questions. Basically just took over my entire presentation with questions of, they're excited to learn more about Zero, and we're here to help them out. So
So what kind of questions are they asking? Remember, they're like the questions that you had in your session.
it's mainly comparing us to QuickBooks.
Oh, okay. All right. So they want to know what's the differences.
What are the differences between you guys and QuickBooks? How does your pricing model work? How can we make the transition if we were going to do so?
Yes.
How easy is it? So easy. We have great partners that help with that transition. We work with our partners hand in hand the whole time. I think that's a big thing that Zero prides ourselves on, is trying to be the best partner there, not just a technology vendor, but like a true extension of your team. So that's kind of what we rely on with those conversations.
Nice.
Fantastic. And we've been, at the happy hour, we have been running a Zero cohort with our audience and learning Zero. So going through the training and then meeting once a month to kind of talk about what we've learned. Liz and I, you guys are going to love this. Next month, we're actually switching the happy hour over
Yep,
to Zero.
sure.
So
How
we're
about
excited
that?
about that. So
So we'll be sharing our journey.
we absolutely will. So
Who's going to be your account manager? Let me know. I'll help you guys out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd love that.
Yeah.
So
We've had such a wonderful experience, and our cohort, is really, it's an accountability and a place to be able to just cheer each other on. So we've got more sessions that we'll do together as we navigate Zero.
Yeah.
All the way to certification is the goal.
Yeah, certification is a great process, great way to learn. And then my experience just getting in there and actually working on a live client file is really the best way to learn.
yeah, one of the things that I was really excited to see you guys roll out, Liz and I attended ZeroCon in Nashville
Yeah.
last summer, and we
Fun
had
time.
we had
Yeah.
the best time.
Yeah.
Great conference. If you haven't been, the one this year is it's in Brisbane, right?
Yes.
Brisbane,
Yeah.
down under. And but
Quick
you guys
flight
will
over to
yeah.
Brisbane.
be back in the US next year.
We will.
And I highly recommend it. But where I was going with that is that you guys talked about a couple of features that got released that the US market that really isn't used by the rest of the world, but is very much relied on in the US market, which is the bank reconciliation.
Yes.
And I've talked to a lot of QuickBooks users that said, you know, I really like Xero, I like the idea of Xero, but I haven't used it because there's no bank rec feature in it.
Right.
But there is now, right?
That's correct.
Talk about that for a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure. So I've been using Xero for 10 years now, and everybody that is looking at Xero from QuickBooks, that's usually the first thing they say is, you guys don't have a traditional bank rec. The way that we've always viewed bank reconciliation, because we were built in the cloud, we're connecting to your bank accounts. So we viewed the reconciliation process on a day-to-day transaction level, so you can reconcile in real time. But people were still like, I need to close out my month. I
Right.
need to check the boxes. I need it to match
Find the
with a little
interface.
bow on it. Here's my report. I'm done. So we introduced reconcile period, so you can do exactly that. You have your opening, closing statement balances, all the transactions that make up that balance. Any outstanding checks, you don't have to check those, and it gives you to your ending balance. So
Gives us our report.
yes,
The
yeah.
report that we want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's wonderful. So really excited about that. Then you guys have really been leaning into AI too. You guys have Jax, Just Ask Xero,
Correct.
which actually allows you to do things, not just ask questions, but actually
Right.
lean in to do things. Can you talk a little bit about that functionality and kind of where it is and where's it going?
Great question. So yeah, Just Ask Xero. Right now, the main use cases are with accounts payable and accounts receivable. So you can prompt Jax to update an invoice, reduce the amount, send out an invoice. So it can do a lot of things to automate your processes when it comes to AP and AR. That's going to continue to move. I mean, we just recently partnered with Sift, another huge step for us. So multi-entity consolidations, budgeting, forecasting, KPIs. They have a really powerful AI tool as well. So now they're under the Xero umbrella. So they can do a ton of insights, looking at your reporting and telling you exactly where, you may have missed something, different trends like that. So I think we're really relying on the Sift team as well. And then Xero, we don't really talk about. We have AI already built into the reconciliation process. It's telling you, this is what you did before. Would you like to do the same thing? Matching all your bills and all of your invoices as well. So obviously it's a big trend. We've heard, how many times do you think AI has been said in the past 3 days?
Say a lot. And I think
1,000?
you just
At least.
kind of nailed two different sides of it. So, and that's part of the conversation that we're hearing. There's some that want to play and they want to visually see it. So Jax, pull it up. You ask your AI the question
Right.
and you get the answer. And then the other side of it where AI is happening in the background. And there's some people that are like, I don't want to interact directly. I want there to
Right.
be a barrier. I want it to be magically happening in the background, happen for me. It feels like it's just intuitive and it knows. So, I definitely am feeling a sense of there is a mix here. And I would say that's a good representation of where we are in this AI journey, is that some do want to be hands-on. It's like Play-Doh. Give me the Play-Doh. I want to play. And then there's others that are like, I just want to take advantage of it, but I don't want to be, interacting and bothered.
They want that seamless experience. And I mean, there was a keynote this morning where they were talking about, we have AI, that we're using AI all the time. It's baked into so many things that we already use. They were talking about Spotify. You listen to Spotify, it suggests what music you should listen to next based on the music you've already listened to. So I agree with that. You don't even know you're using it.
Right.
It was like when the cloud accounting boom, right back in
Right.
2012, I was like, cloud accounting. I remember being in a session where, people are like, I don't know about this cloud accounting thing, or even cloud-based software.
Right.
And I remember the speaker said, do you use email? I was like, yeah, like cloud-based software. So you don't
good
think
point.
about it because
Yeah.
it's baked into the products that you're using every day. But now that we have products like ChatGPT, where we're able to actually interface with it and experiment with it,
Right. Prompt
people-
it.
Right, exactly. So really interesting.
I think it's an exciting time. I feel like a year from now, to see where we're at in this AI journey, I think we'll have another leap that we will take in just that span of time.
Absolutely. I think the next 2 years are going to be very, very exciting.
Definitely. It kind of reminds me of when cloud accounting was on the forefront of the accounting industry, like you said, people were hesitant, but it made everybody's lives so much easier.
did.
And I think AI is going to continue to do the same. And we have to be careful, obviously. That's the other big thing with AI is like AI is not smarter or more experienced than the accountant when they're working with their clients on a daily basis. So they still want to have oversight of what they're doing. So you kind of have to be careful with how much you implement AI, but I'm excited for what
Yes.
happens.
Too, and you know, the other part of it too is that we don't have to know everything, because I feel like where we're at in the development of it is there's a lot that is unknown.
Right.
And that it's
Yeah.
it's an explorative journey on all sides, on the use cases, on the development of it. And
Yeah.
that's going to be something that as we take this journey together, we're going to learn more and more how can it assist us.
Right. Agreed.
Absolutely. It's automagical, as our good friend.
Automagical,
Yeah,
nice.
automagical,
Yeah.
as our good friend Michelle Long used to say. But it is going to be exciting for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm excited to see what Jax does. I mean, this is kind of just the beginning stages of Jax. But we have our tool, so see what,
It's fantastic.
I'm not on the development team, so I can't, give you a full roadmap, but it's going to continue to improve and be a part of our product.
And Liz, you had said, we can't know everything. We don't have to know everything, but what we do have to do is pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
We have to know what's happening out there. We have to be on top of what are our options, what are the resources that we should be looking at. We do need to be aware of, privacy, and
Yep.
we need to pay attention.
Yep.
And we're the stewards of our clients' data, and we need to know as much as we can what's going on.
I keep calling AI the force,
The force made a
Nice.
with you.
right? Because there's the dark side and there's the light side. So which side, are you playing with at the moment? So,
Zero is Luke Skywalker. in that
Yeah.
scenario.
well, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, okay, I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi, just so
Okay,
that
yeah.
way we're all really clear.
Get on that.
I guess
I'm
I'm
the
the
guy.
guy. Leia. I get
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Okay.
I see it.
There you go.
Yeah.
The audience is nodding too. They said,
Yeah.
well, thank you for coming
Yeah,
in and
thank you
hanging
so
out with us and giving
Yeah.
us some insights as to what
Of
happened.
course. Happy to be here.
And we're just having a blast with our partnership with Zero this year. It's been fantastic. We're really enjoying the Zero cohort. To all of you that are interested in exploring Zero, we have our Zero cohort. We meet once a month. We're going through the training together. Liz and I are going to do a big conversion next month. We'd love to have you join us. So drop us an email, reach out to us in chat, and we'll get you added to our Slack channel so you can participate.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate it. All right.
All right, and we have a
Alright.
big drawing to
We
do.
do have a big drawing.
All
All right.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
See you everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.